What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here. In this video, on the final day of Iron Banner, I'm going to be going over all of my loot drops and rewards for my other characters. I got some absolutely amazing stuff. I'm so happy with the weapons I've picked up, and I actually got a few god roll weapons as well, which are very rare for my RNG. But yeah, it's definitely been a very good Iron Banner in terms of rewards, and even just infusion fuel as well. I'm seeing you guys saying the same things, that drops have been very good. If you want to see the loot drops I got on my Hunter, I made a separate video on those, and that'll be in the description if you want to watch that video. But let's take a look at all the cool stuff I've picked up, starting with the weapons. I've collected all the guns on my Warlock, so we can go through them, see what the rolls are, what's good and what isn't, and then we're going to go through all the armor, and then of course the armor for my Titan as well. So the first thing I want to draw your attention to is I got another clever dragon, and this is, as you guys know, probably one of my new favorite weapons. I've been using it in trials if you saw the highlights video yesterday, but it's basically my new go-to weapon, especially for close quarters and games like Supremacy where there's low shotgun rushes. This thing just melts them down. So this is my first roll that you might remember. It's only got injection mold for stability, so not much, and this weapon does need a good bit of stability to make it a little bit more manageable. It's also got armor piercing rounds and rangefinder. So even with very little stability perks, it was still one of my favorite weapons, and I'm so happy because I got an even better roll. Now this thing is incredible. It's got a nearly perfect set of perks for me personally. So we've got perfect balance for a recoil, or also hand lay stock for even better stability. We've also got quick draw, high caliber rounds, which I of course go for, glass half full, and secret round, which is pretty garbage. So the main thing here, of course, is stability. Now I was doing a bit of testing and comparing between perfect balance and hand lay stock to see which was better, and it definitely turns out that hand lay stock is a lot better. Even though it takes away a little bit of the range, that's actually made up for with the next perk, which is high caliber rounds, and that actually adds a little bit of range. But the main reason I love this perk is, of course, for the amount of flinch it causes enemies when you're in a gunfight with people, and especially with a weapon that has this high of a rate of fire. All of my shots are going to be sending them so much flinch, and it makes it so hard to win gunfights. You probably noticed it when certain weapons hit you and your aim just goes all over the place. That's because of high caliber rounds. It's a really lethal perk, and like I said, on a rate of fire this high, it's so effective. So definitely one of my favorite perks on this weapon. And then the last column, we've got glass half full, which I wasn't really before a massive fan of, but glass half full is decent. Seeing as this does have a really high rate of fire, you do tend to hit the bottom half of the magazine pretty quickly, and it does do a little bit of bonus damage, which is nice. So all in all, a very strong roll, and I'm just so happy I got an even better roll on the weapon that was previously my favorite in the game. So clever dragon, absolute piece, and this is definitely my go-to weapon right now. So moving on, we also got the lingering song, which is the hand cannon, and this I guess is a god roll as well. Now I'm not really a massive fan of this weapon. It's pretty strange. It can be good in some situations, but it's actually the really high impact style, so the same as the ill will. It's got really high impact but slower rate of fire. It's a bit of a strange weapon. It can two-shot people if they're low armor or really low level, but if it came to it, I'd probably just choose my AS Luna or like a Finale's Peril, which I've got god rolls of. But this thing is a very strong roll in itself. We've got Iron Lordly sights, which are strong at target acquisition, so basically sure shot or true sight. It also came with Hammer Forged or Brace Frame. Of course, Hammer Forged is the one to go for increased range on a hand cannon, which is much needed. In the middle column, we've got Snapshot and Explosive Rounds. And the final perk is got Rangefinder, again, a very good perk for hand cannons, and also Firefly, which I guess you could use in PvE. I think I'm going to try it out a little bit more. Haven't really got too much to grips with the weapon just yet. I've used it for like 5 games. It still feels a little bit weird. If I do, I'll probably make a video on it showcasing it. And I do love how it looks and sounds. A really cool design. I also picked up 2 more of these auto rifles, both at 385. This first one is okay. It's got perfect balance, reinforced barrel for the range, snapshot, casket mag, glass half full, and also focus fire. And this next one is nearly identical, but the only difference is the last 2 perks, rangefinder and unflinching. So okay rolls there. I'll probably get one of them and give them a go. Now into these special weapons, this is where things get interesting, because I actually got a god roll sniper. This is literally perfect perks. Would you believe it? I actually got a god roll sniper, but this thing is called the Laughing Heart, and this one comes with hand laid stock or hammer forged for the range, so pretty decent. But the main things are quick draw and snapshot, both of the ideal perks for a sniper rifle, and the final perk is hidden hand and also grenadier. So very strong rolls. Of course, can be going with hidden hand and also quick draw. Unfortunately, it's not that really common archetype of high impact, like the LDR, the longbow, the 1000 yard. It's actually the same as the Hereafter, which is quite a rare and strange archetype, but nevertheless, it's a decent weapon. It can't, of course, one-shot supers, but it's still going to get the job done. It's got a pretty decent rate of fire, so you can actually two-shot people to the body if you want to do that instead. In terms of its scope, it does look a bit strange, but it's actually the same as the short gaze, like 0.1 difference. It's basically a low zoom scope, which is nice. So all in all, a pretty decent sniper. Haven't actually given it a go myself, but I will definitely be trying this thing out. It's got an amazing set of perks, so really happy I got this thing. I also picked up 3 more of these shotguns. Again, not a massive fan of these. They've got okay perks, nothing that I really think is worth keeping. But of course, they're good at infusion fuel, and they're 385, 385, and also 384. Now, moving into the heavy weapons, I picked up a machine gun at 385. This one came with hammer forge, also oiled frame, speed reload, snapshot, rangefinder, and life support. So pretty solid perks, and this thing looks like a monster. It's a really cool design. In terms of the rocket launchers, I got 2 more of the titanium orchids, and both these have really strong rolls. We've got heavy payload, speed reload, grenades and horseshoes, or tripod. I've actually been using this thing myself and I quite like it. It's not got the highest blast radius and velocity, but it's a solid weapon. It's very decent. And this next one is 385. This one's got heavy payload, fitted stock, snapshot, speed reload, tracking, and also spray and play. So 2 pretty solid rocket launchers. I also picked up a ghost shell at 385, which is pretty nice. Now into the armor pieces, I picked up the helmet for the Warlock. And as you can see, the main difference between this and the Iron Lord helmet is, of course, the chainmail in the middle. It's got a little bit of chains in between the kind of visor mask bit. I think I prefer my Iron Lord armor a little bit more. But you can see that is the main difference between Iron Lord and Iron Banner, in case you're wondering. I picked up 2 sets of boots. This one here, 386, is basically a perfect set of boots. If I could craft my own, these would be the exact perks I'd choose. They're literally perfect for me. It's got intellect and discipline, sniper and rocket, and also second wind, which is basically the best perk you can get for boots. Absolutely love this one. On respawn, weapon and movement speeds are greatly increased for like 15 seconds every time you respawn. It's so good. But yeah, those are a really nice set of boots, and this one isn't too great. 385 are kind of average perks. I also picked up a 387 Bond, which is pretty cool. Probably getting infused, not really a massive fan of how it looks or the actual stat rolls on it, but this is definitely good infusion fuel. And in terms of artifacts, I picked up 2 more, 385 and 387. And when I played some extra games with my Hunter, I picked up 2 more, 384 and 385 artifacts, which is pretty cool infusion fuel. Now look at the armor pieces on my Titan. He picked up 2 of the helmets, both at 386, so pretty nice right there. And also picked up some of the boots at 387, again, pretty good infusion fuel. I didn't get any marks for him, but he did get some pretty nice artifacts, 2 of them at 384, and also a ghost shell at 384 as well. So there we have it. That is a look at everything I've picked up on all of my characters after my Hunter from Iron Banner. An absolute ton of stuff and some really solid rolls on weapons and armor. Let me know in the comment section what stuff you've been getting from Iron Banner and what your thoughts are on the tournament. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, a like rating would be much appreciated, and I'll see you guys in the next one.